I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. The hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I know why you're here, and you know why you're here. You're here to solve this one problem, this one issue in your life. And that's when you go to sit down to write a song. You get your guitar in front of you, you get your piano in front of you, and you're rocking it out, you're playing, and then you're not. And you sit there for hours trying to come up with anything at all. And you just can't. What we're talking about today is a little something called writer's block. Now, close your eyes and imagine a world, a vision, a dream, where you sit down, and every single time, not even the times that you're feeling inspired, every single time that you go to sit down and write a song, it flows naturally. 2, 3, 4 hours goes by, feeling like minutes, seconds even. You're expressing yourself so purely using your writing on that page. And you dive deeply into your soul and write gorgeous music with great imagery and perfect, pure self-expression. You can open your eyes now. I have been writing songs for about 9 years, and up until I decided to begin using the tactic that we're going to talk about today, I would just sit around and wait until something would happen and nothing would come out. I was one of those, I have to wait for inspiration to strike guys. I was one of those guys where I was like, man, it takes me months to write a song because I need the right focus. I need the right inspiration. And that led me to not even release a single song. Not even one. And I was scared that my writing was bad, and I didn't know what to write about. And then I learned this one simple discipline, and it is a discipline. It's a habit that you must force yourself to get into. And it immediately increased my writing capacity. It increased my storytelling. It immediately increased how good my writing was. And that discipline is object writing. Now, object writing is the task of picking an object and describing it using your senses and writing that down on a piece of paper. And now, for those that just want have the attention span of a squirrel, and you got your one quick tip to increase your writing, you guys can leave now. Those of you who are serious about your writing, stick around, because what I talk about next is very important, and you're going to want to stick around to learn about the true power of this habit. Now, before we get into the specifics of object writing, I need to talk about the concept of your inner writer. There are two of you as you go throughout this earth. Two yous. There are two me's. There are two everybody's. There's the one that just kind of goes about his day, blissfully unaware of everything except for what's going on right in front of his nose. That is the surface level you. That guy is the guy that wakes up in the morning every single day feeling super groggy as he walks over to the coffee pot and does pretty much nothing with his days other than, wake up, go to work, take a shower, stuff like that. That guy gets woken up by all of us every single day, no matter what. That's just how life is. There's another you. There's another you that none of us seem to wake up at all throughout our weeks and throughout our years and throughout our months until inspiration strikes. And that part of us is called our inner writer. And our inner writer is the one who gives us the inspiration to write, who gives us those magical words to put on the piece of paper, who allows us to write for 2 or 3 or 4 hours straight and really enjoy the process and enjoy the experience because you're really expressing yourself and you're telling the story that you want to tell purely and truly. This is the guy that, as you're walking through your day, will wake up and notice some little spark. He'll notice the grass next to you. He'll notice that penny, that very rusted up penny that is on the sidewalk as you walk by. And he'll ask questions like, how did that penny get there? I wonder who dropped it. I wonder why they dropped it. I wonder what were the events that led up to that penny being in that person's pocket. And if we don't wake up our inner writer every single morning with ourselves, we are going to miss out on so many stories that we can tell as writers and as musicians. But instead, we as writers who don't do this object writing habit, our inner writer, he has to force himself awake. Only when you come across something so crazy that it slaps you in the face with inspiration or with a song. So now I guess you're asking me, how do you wake him up? And object writing. Object writing is how we wake up our inner writer. Object writing forces us to look at the little minute details of a simple object and dissect every single little piece of it through writing. You look at all of your senses and you really hang out with that object. Now, let's get into it. Here is how you actually object write. Object writing is designed to be added to your morning routine. Because think about it. How much work do you get done when you wake up at 1 or 2 p.m.? Now, imagine the second your inner writer, being forced to do all of his work, all of his writing, after 4 p.m. That's not going to work. That's just not going to happen. Your inner writer will also show you how many stories if you wake them up with you. So, add object writing to your morning routine. Wake up your inner writer with yourself. The specifics of it are very simple. Step 1, set a timer for 10 minutes. No more, no less. Step 2, choose an item. Step 3, begin using your senses to describe the object. Your touch, your taste, your smell, your sight, your hearing. Dive deeply into each one using sensory words to describe your item. You're even allowed to branch off and take far crazy right turns with this. For example, you could start with an apple, and we could end up with a love story in downtown Britain. Downtown Britain. Downtown London. Just make sure that you're using sensory words and sensory details and imagery to go from apple to London. Doesn't matter how you end up there. No one else has to understand it except for you. Now, the key thing about this is once the 10-minute timer goes off, once you hear that of your phone or whatever timer that you're using, immediately stop. I don't care if you're in the middle of a phrase, in the middle of a thought, in the middle of a word. Cut yourself off immediately. The reason for this is because as you do more object writing, your inner writer will begin to wake up more and more quickly. And because of that, you'll be able to dive deeper and deeper into your soul, if you will. And it'll allow you to open up your writer and allow you to write for more. However, in the beginning, you'll find that your inner writer won't really start connecting with you until 5 to 7 minutes in. And then you'll go off and write for 30 minutes. And then the next day, you'll remember how much energy it took you to write for that 30 minutes. And you'll go, ugh, I don't want to do this. I'll do this tomorrow. The other problem with going longer is if you allow your inner writer to use up all of his energy all at once, then he'll just stop. He'll stop hanging out with you because he's tired and he'll want to go back to bed. However, if you cut him off, he'll get pissed. So he'll wake up earlier He'll start to figure out what's going on sooner. And then all of a sudden, you'll reach the point where now it's taking you 3 minutes to open up your writer and to get into the flow. And now it's taking you 1 minute. Now it's taking you 30 seconds. And then immediately, the moment you sit down to write, immediately you hit that flow. And if you cut off your inner writer after that 10-minute mark in the beginning, always, if you cut off your inner writer at that 10-minute mark, he will be mad and frustrated, and so he'll continue working with you for the rest of the day because he'll want to finish a writing thing. So treat this like your writing warm-up. Treat this as your awakening of your muscles. I'm an athlete. I played football in high school. I trained jiu-jitsu, and I don't jump onto the mat immediately and just start rolling 100% with people. When I get to class, I'll stretch out my arms, stretch out my legs, stretch out my body, and then coach will have us drill something, whatever it is that we're working on, a couple of times for 15, 20 minutes so that we can get moving, get our bodies used to moving with other people, and then we start rolling, and then we start actually training jiu-jitsu and actually doing jiu-jitsu with other people. Writing is the exact same thing. You shouldn't expect to immediately just start, especially when you're first starting out. And so you should treat object writing not as a replacement for your daily writing, but you should treat it as your writing warm-up, which is why it doesn't matter if you have complete thoughts or even complete sentences in your object writes. All that matters is that you sit down and you do it and you begin the writing process in the morning. I know what you guys are probably thinking. Jonathan, I'm scared. I don't want to do this alone. It's more fun to do it with other people. You are correct. It is objectively more fun to object write in a group with other people, all focusing on the same or similar words. You have two options for this. Technically three, but you have two options for this. First option is you start doing object writing parties, where you get 4 or 5 people, a group of people, 3 to 5 or 6. Don't go any higher than that because then the reading portion will take too long and people will get impatient and bored. You guys all get together, you pick a topic, and then you just say, go. And then everybody writes. The second option is to do it virtually. You have one person send out the morning email or the morning text of, this is what we're writing about, go. And then everybody in their morning routine writes the 10-minute object write. And then they all send it to each other. And then the third option that I'm offering you is I have created an object writing Discord that is designed all about keeping us accountable to object writing. And if you would like to join that link will be in the description below. And every morning I will be putting in an object writing assignment for us, and we will all do that object writing assignment and then post it in the Discord, and then you can read other people's object writes. You can see where they took it, and it's so much more fun to do this together. It's also a lot easier to keep yourself accountable when you have a group of people that are doing it with you. So I highly recommend that you join that Discord server. Again, the link is in the description down below. If you want to join us on our journey, our path to writing better music and just writing better, join that Discord and press the subscribe button, because we are creating a community of people who want to grow and share their writing and music with each other and build connections through music. And let's be honest, if you've made it this far into this video, I know that you're serious about your writing, and I know that you're serious about your music. And because of that, hit that subscribe button right now.